So what is a link server? So in general scenarios, we try to write SQL queries to get the data from a database, and database is a collection of tables. So based on the business requirements, you try to join tables and write all your business logic in the SQL queries to get the desired data. So in most of the scenarios, we try to join between the tables of the same database and between the databases on the same server. So as long as the databases are on the same server, we can just try to access the table via a three-part identifier and database table, the schema name dot table name. Okay, but how do we access databases on a different server? So we can do that with the link server. So link server is a concept developed to access databases on a remote server. So generally we have for the link server four-part identifier, that is server dot database dot schema dot table name. In this case, table name is our database object, but you can call stored procedures or functions. Generally, if we don't use link server, so we just use this three-part identifier. So to access the tables from different databases. But if you are just writing the query within the database, so you just use schema and table name. So let's begin. So first of all, I'm deleting the existing link server. So before that, I just want to show you that I have two servers. One is Windows 2012-R2, which is named as Windows WinCKU blah 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 SDG. So I just call it as WinCKU. The other server is WinDBT, and all these letters 9QJ707IT. So I call this server as WinDBT and this server as CKU. So I'll just quickly show you the other server. So just for your understanding. So this is the other server, which is Windows SQL. The other server was Windows 2012 R2. This is just Windows SQL. For variation, I'm just having the font small in this server, so you can recognize the servers. So in this server, I'm having, or I'm trying, or I connected with the administrator account, and I also created one more account called LS admin. So I'm just going to show you that. Under security, under logins, I created an account called LS admin, which has system administrator privileges on this server to be used for the link server. So link server admin, so I just created this account on this server. So I'm shifting my view to the other server. So this is the server on which I'm creating a link server, and the link server is going to be DBT server, which is my other server. So the account I'm going to use is lsadmin, and the password is 123. And the IP of the DBT server is 107. So the IP of this machine is 108. So this machine, it's 108, the other machine is 107. So first of all, when I'm trying to create a link server, I need to know the server name. I need to know what account I'm going to use to connect to that server. So this account should have access on that server. So when you connect to the server, under server objects, below security, you will have link server. So when you expand that, you see all the providers. So these are the default Microsoft SQL Server providers, and you need other database providers. For example, you need to try, or you need to access a database from Oracle, database from Sybase or DB2. So you need to get the ODBC drivers from that DBMS products, and you need to install it on your machine. So once you install the provider, then you can create the ODBC connection, and you can use it. So for now, I'm just right-clicking the link server, and I'm saying new link server. So what is the name of the server? So the name of the server is WinDBT server. So I'm just copy pasting that. And here under data source, I just give the IP name. You can also give the server name. I'm giving master as my data source. And for security, I'm selecting an account which is ls admin, and the password is 123. In the server options, I usually select RPC, remote call procedure, remote call commands as true, RPC out is true. You can also change the connection timeout and query timeout, but for now I'm just leaving as it is. So I just created the server. So under the link servers, I created this DBT server. So when I expand it, I'm going to see what catalogs I have access to. So yes, I can access three different databases, which is AdventureWorks 2012, Report Server TMDB. And just to show you something that I don't have AdventureWorks here. So if I have to query some part of AdventureWorks database from this server, I'm using the link server concept to access that database. Okay, so how do I query the database? So as I said before, like you need 4-point identifier, but if you are writing a query, then you need to use something called open query. If you just write the select statement, you will get an error message saying that the CLR cannot be accessed. So for that reason, you need to use an open query whenever you are using the link server concept. So the syntax is basically same, select star from open query. So this open query will open the command or will open the link to this server and execute this statement. Because if you don't do that and you just write the SQL statement, it just tries to find within the local server, and it doesn't understand this metadata like the columns and the table. So for that reason, you have to use the open query, and you have to specify the server or the name which you want to connect, which in our case is the link server. So here in this case, I'm just trying to access the person.address table, so which I defined it as PA. So I'm running this query. So you can see that I can see all the data, which is still executing 19614 rows. So I'll just copy the same data, same query from this machine to the other machine, which is my Windows SQL. I would just run this query. So again, I'm in AdventureWorks database, and I'm the Windows DBT server. I'm executing it. So this is transport level. I do it again. So it's connected now. So it's 19614 rows. Okay. And to just show you that I also have a store procedure, adding two numbers in the AdventureWorks 2012 database. So I would go and access store procedure from that server. So I'm going back to the other server. So when you're trying to execute the store procedure, you just define in this way execute, because you're just remote calling the procedure and it's executing in that server and it's just returning you the results. So you don't have to use open query here. So my store procedure is add two numbers, and this is the input 3 and 5. So 3 plus 5 is going to be 8. So I'm executing the remote store procedure. This store procedure is not in this server, but it's coming from this server. So I'm executing that, and you can see result of sum is 8. So in this way, you can access store procedures and tables from other remote servers using link server. So first thing is you need to define the link server name, and you need to have an account for that to be able to access that server and run queries on that server. And you can use open query concept to run or to write SQL query to run on that server and return you the result, or you can just make a store procedure and just call it in this server to view the results. So again, I showed you the GUI form of creating the link server. So I'm just going this and deleting this server. So with the T-SQL, if you have to write a T-SQL for adding link server, so this is the way you add the link server. So again, the SQL NCI is the SQL native client which I selected in the graphical user interface. So this is the provider, and for the other DBMS products, it will be ODBC and OLGDB for Microsoft Access or SSIS, something like that. So I'm executing these two statements. One is I'm creating the link server, and the other is I'm adding the link server.